Warning, this podcast contains death. Maybe spoilers. Maybe beds.
and this being able to count.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to the As Seen on TV podcast for Scream Season 1, Episode 7, Into the Trenches. I'm your host, Dom. With me, my co-host, Kim.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good. Oh my god, that ending?
Yeah.
Very surprised. I was like, okay, it seems like okay, so everything's done, we're good. I mean, that was scary, but then, like, okay, we're good, and then...
Yeah, shit hit the fan.
Yeah.
Or blood hit something.
Hit Emma.
Yes.
And everything else.
So, I mean... Alright, so... This picked up literally where last week left off, with Will missing. Stabbed. What's her name? Piper? Pepper? Piper. Watching too much Iron Man. Yeah. Peter Piper picked a pick and peck and peck. Sally sold rubber baby buggy bumpers by the beds. No, but so Piper, she went looking for Emma because she found, Emma don't go to the cops, whatever. Emma no cops, whatever. What did it say? Was it Emma no cops?
No cops Emma. That's what
no
it
cops
said.
Emma. Yeah, so she goes after Emma and Brooke and Jake, that's his name. Just happened to be there, and I think that's why they got roped into coming. Otherwise, it probably would have just been Emma. But then in the meantime, Jake, I guess, spilled the beans that it wasn't just Will that was in on this.
Yeah, so
it was done off camera, but yeah.
Yeah, all of the sleaziness, because he's a sleaze. Jake is a sleaze.
Mm-hmm.
It all comes out. So he implements himself. He comes clean. I don't know why or how that all comes clean. Other than I wonder if Piper didn't kind of maybe implement him a little, and then he kind of was forced to.
I'm wondering how much Will actually told Piper and how much Piper actually knew, which may have led to backing Jake into a corner where he basically had to confess. I mean, this is all done off camera, so we didn't see it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would assume that something like that went on, in which he wouldn't just offer that information out unless he was backed into a corner. So, I'll go with that. I think that's the most logical step there.
Yeah, that's definitely the direction I was thinking. And I'm really, like, at first, I was, like, obviously before we saw the no cops, I was like, why would Piper go to Emma? Why didn't she just go to the cops? And then it was like, oh, okay, well, that's the reason why. It makes sense now.
I mean, so we saw that, and then, Will and Jake were the only two people that got injured in the building.
Mm-hmm.
So that led to, I was thinking, all right, well, we could kind of rule them out, maybe, possibly, until, why am I can't think of his name.
Jake?
Noel?
No.
Noel.
Noah.
Yes. Noah?
Noah. It's Noah.
Noah.
Like,
I thought I had these names down.
Noah.
Apparently I don't.
Noah. Yes. Noah. I love Noah. Noah's...
Yes. And then Noah just basically is like, yeah, so maybe that was their intention all along.
It brings you back to the Scream movies where the killers, they believe it's the first one, were actually, they could stab themselves and not die. Remember? They knew, like, the amount they could stab themselves distance-wise without dying. Right?
Correct.
Yeah. So I was all like, wait a minute. So I literally at first thought Jake was dead. Like, the way he was stabbed, I'm like, oh, Jake's dead. Oh my god, he's dead. And then it's like, oh wait, he's not dead. And the moment that she, like, pulled it out, and I'm like, wait, he's living. That's my first reaction was to my brain. Especially since we had, during the whole thing, at first Jake was implementing Noah, and Noah was implementing Jake. He's all like, well, maybe Jake did it. Maybe Jake's a killer. And then Jake's like, well, maybe Noah's a killer. And they both had their reasonings, which all both coincide with horror movies and stuff. And both was sound thought processes. I'm like, oh, okay. But it's obvious if that was the case, there's more than one killer.
Right. So, I mean, with Will biting the dust now at the end of the episode,
Yes.
if it was the duo, that means now Jake is working alone.
Hmm. Unless there was someone else. Anyway, if
Could
Jake
be.
is the killer, as in the case of that we get the whole stab you just right so you don't die.
Right. So, I mean, this would have to
Scenario.
be a huge elaborate thing though, because so if this was the case, what I see how everything unfolded in the last couple episodes is Jake and Will. Let's say they are the killers. They're working together. They're blackmailing the mayor, which also happens to be
Brooks.
Brooke's mom. I was gonna call her Becky again. I know I did that last week. Um, so Brooke's dad, mom situation, whatever.
Yeah.
So they had that going on. Then they staged the fight, right? So that would be they would stage the fight in the school to beat each other up. Does not explain why Jake confronted Will alone in the weight room and to threaten him there with no witnesses around. Does not explain that.
Well, if Will is, if there is some conflict, maybe there is some real conflict going on. If they are, if they were the killers or whatever, there is somewhat real conflict going on, where one is trying to back out and the other one's afraid. I'm like, well, what if maybe he's revealed this much? What if he reveals that I'm also the killer or killed people or whatever,
I'm
and
gonna go
that's
with
why he's
no
off
though.
me.
I'm gonna go with no because I don't think there would be a reason for that particular thing. We've seen Will and Jake alone where they would have been discussing something.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
honestly don't think that direction either, but that was just a scenario
yeah,
that
it's
I,
just Noah like playing with our heads at that point. And
yeah.
believe me, it's already crossed my mind because I've watched all four Scream movies and I kind of know how the killers work in those situations. And
Yeah.
that whole scenario already played out as soon as I saw Jake stabbed and laying on the ground. I was like, he's alive. He may have stabbed himself. Then I saw the killer run out, and then I saw Will tackle the killer. So I was like, so is there a third member? Like, I'm like, what the hell's going on?
Which is totally plausible, being that we know that they were working together as a group to do the blackmailing.
Yep. So I mean, say I safely eliminated Will from being part of this before the episode ended.
Hmm.
I still think Jake potentially could have something to do with it, so I can't rule him out yet. But then the end of the episode, really kind of ruled Will out for everybody.
Completely. I mean, yeah. Um, I had to, which is surprising. As many as gory movies I had to I started to shield my eyes because my very first thought process. Because okay, so all the other killings so far have been. We did have a beheading, which was a little, but we didn't actually see the beheading. We just saw the head floating.
Hmm.
We got slice. There was a lot of slice and dice, a lot of stabbing, a lot of obviously we got the fake suicide, but
Yep.
nothing was. This was gruesome. This was straight
This
out.
this was
Just
more along the lines of what I was expecting in what episode was it? Episode 3. Want to play a game
oh yeah.
where it is set up more like Saw.
Mm-hmm.
Like this was the first booby trap death
Mm-hmm.
that we've had.
Yeah, this is true. Even I think Riley's death was a little bit more. He had the blood flamed across the ground, but none of it. But this is the first true, really gruesome death. So I immediately, surprisingly, went to shield my eyes because my first thought process was the very first. It's the first scene in the first movie with Drew Barrymore is the popping the popcorn and the boyfriend's outside and you get the chest rip open. I literally for the couple days afterwards was nauseous after that scene, and it was it just it's I don't know what it is. It's just I guess it's like I guess it's a chest thing. Same thing with Alien that what the alien pops out of. I kind of get
Yeah.
no, nowhere near as bad as I think it's in Species 2 where she's pregnant and it's like oh my god it's the worst scene ever. I'm just like just throw up. I'm done.
Yeah, Species is great like that. But yeah, I mean, so this definitely wasn't as gruesome as the Saw movies for sure.
No,
It was
didn't really
stylized like it, and I hope we see more stuff like this. And I love the phone call at the end there. It's like,
Oh
what
yeah.
do Emma run? That's what you do, run. And then, she's literally running in to save Will and does not realize the tripwire is
Mhm.
there on the lever.
So the blood is on her hands,
Literally,
basically,
it's on her hands and her
and, her,
face and
and all over her body. Um, but yeah, that we didn't actually get to see it, and I'm guessing because it's whole TV. You kind of get that whole little space where you're like, you can't get too bad, I guess.
yeah, I don't. When it comes to the ratings and TV and stuff like that, they're a lot more restrictive on stuff like that of what they can and can't show. Things have loosened up since shows like CSI and all that. They're allowed to show a little bit more blood and things. But a lot of like the act of like ripping someone in half,
Yeah.
they still can't really get away with. What they can do is they can show us the mangled corpse afterwards, which we'll probably see next episode.
Good.
But especially for a TV show like this, don't expect to see lots of actual cutting things in half. So
I didn't think so, but like when she was on the like she came out and you saw the barn and then you start running. For in my brain, for some reason, I was thinking like a wood chipper or something. I was not expecting what ended up happening, and I'm just like, whoa.
yeah,
But yeah, but yeah, that ending.
yeah, that ending. Um, as far as who's left to be the killers, killers,
Killers.
I instantly go to killers because there's, to my knowledge, I could be completely wrong, but there's never been one sole person. Was it Scream 3? There was only one?
Um, Scream 4 only had one. No,
No,
I
Scream 4 had
lied.
two.
There's two.
I think Scream 3 only had one.
Man, it's been so
I don't
long.
think he had a partner.
I know there was two and one.
Yeah.
You know what? You're right. I think that was because it was the brother,
Yeah.
right? The illegitimate brother or whatever, the one that she didn't know she had.
Yeah, I don't think she had a helper. Or he had a
Yeah.
helper, rather.
No, I think that was the only one that was the single for
Okay,
sure.
so I don't want to say it's there's only been one throughout the whole series, but it's rare. Put it that way. Out of four movies, we've seen it once.
Yeah, honestly, I think there's two at least. I mean, that's just what my opinion or what I thought process or what I've seen so far with our main characters. Unless we're gonna get some more characters along the line, I do see. Obviously, I do think they're gonna bring more characters in. But we already saw one. I mean, we've seen our main characters are starting, to kick the bucket all over the
Yeah.
place.
I mean, we only have 3 episodes left in this season, so we're getting down to the wire. September 1st is the last episode, the finale. Currently, the last 2 episodes do not have titles, so a little worried with the amount of people they have left to kill off. Who's gonna live? Who's gonna die? I I feel like until I could almost say that uh what's her name now?
Who? What are they gonna?
Uh, I always Brooke.
Brooke?
I always want to keep calling her Becky. I don't know why. I feel like Brooke is safe only because of this big story that's going on with her father and her mother.
I do think you think they're developing her character farther.
Yeah.
She's changing. She's not just the she started out as kind of the slut,
Yep.
and she's changed. She's not as whatever, and the situation between her and the teacher is over, and she's learned her lesson that she needs to focus on other things, and she's developing, and then all the shit's going on with her mom and her dad. So yeah, I definitely think she's going to be here for a while longer. I don't think she's going to be, but of course some of the other characters I thought they'd stay and they didn't.
Yeah. I mean, just because of the backstory that she's setting up right now, I don't think she's going anywhere. I could see Audrey maybe going. They're still kind of setting up the framework for, or the frame job, I should say, for her. So there's some stuff going on with that. We still have to find out how her DNA got on the mask and things like that. So there's some stuff left open with her, and as soon as they resolve that, I think she's on the list for getting kicked off that. Kieran, I could see going at any point. Yeah, I understand that he's got the story with Emma. Until we find out what's going on with Brandon James and if it's Emma's father or not, Emma's clearly safe, but I don't want to rule her out as being safe forever on this show because
I don't know
yeah,
either.
it's literally anything.
but she is the overarching main character right now.
Right, and because of that, I feel Karen definitely has the chance to die and be tragic, and maybe not this season, but I see it. It's coming. It's gonna happen.
I think it depends upon the relationship. It depends how it develops. Because obviously, we knew the reason why Will became the target was because it's kind of the coinciding of what happened with her mom and Brendan James and all that stuff. It's like, oh, you did the same stupid shit.
Right.
So that's where it's going, and that's then some more information obviously we haven't focused on, which I still on this thought process. Tinfoil hat was I'm like, what if Emma's dad is the killer?
I mean, it very well could be, but we're under the impression that Brendan James is her dad, and
Well, her
the voice specifically referred to Brandon James in the third person, so I'm pretty safe to say that the killer is not Brandon James. He could be doing that intentionally, but
oh, I meant her dad. Like I
right.
meant the one with they believed to be her dad. No, now obviously we found out through some weird, crazy tape thing that she found in the bowling alley that her mom slept with Brandon James.
Yeah.
So that puts that whole possibility of Brandon James being her father a bit higher on the possibility.
Yeah, I was pretty much already convinced. You know, I think that was a prediction we made in like the first or second episode.
Yeah.
You know, so here it is, seventh episode. We have confirmation now, hard, concrete confirmation that this could, in fact, be plausible. I don't think it's a red herring. I think that's what happened.
I honestly think so too. I think that's the direction they're going with
Unless
this.
the direction they're going is it's so obvious that it's not true, which would be another typical move that Scream could pull off, and wouldn't even be able to think twice about it. To just be like, "Yep,
Yeah.
this is a TV trope that you expected, and it didn't happen."
And then nope.
Yeah, because Scream is famous for breaking, tradition like that. They show you everything up front. They give you all the cards, and they play into your hand, and then take everything away from you. So you really don't know what to expect as much as you think you do.
That's what made the movie so awesome. And
Exactly.
This show is really off, and I think it's doing really well because of that same aspect of, oh, you think this is going to happen, and all of a sudden, maybe not.
Yeah, exactly. Because I can't say for sure any of the Scream movies I called the killers out as they were going. Like, obviously, yeah, after the fact, now that I've seen it, it all makes sense. But when I first saw the first Scream movie, I didn't pick out. I think I accused the boyfriend at one point, but then I dismissed him when I saw him and the killer somewhere, and I was like, they totally mind fucked me on that one. The second one, when it was the mother, then the reporter, I was like, I didn't know that. The third one, the brother, and it just happened to be.
And he just came out of left field.
The director's son, and it's just like, that one caught me, and then the fourth one, I did not see it being Sydney's cousin, so it was just it was crazy. So far, the movies have done a good job of pulling the wool over my eyes. TV show, it's too soon to tell. We don't know. We're not going to find out this season, that's for sure. We're not going to know who the killer is this season. Show is going into at least another season, so we have that. But as for the remaining characters, the Piper Shaw, the reporter, I think she's safe for the time being, but I don't think she's safe forever. I could see her dying this season. Probably not the next episode, but with probably a finale, I could see that.
A possibility. I don't know. I mean, I know obviously with the movies, because she's playing. She's the same concept as I can't think of her name right now. Courtney Cox's character.
Yeah.
But I could see her surviving longer because they could use her.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just the reporter's always been safe on the movie, so I'm suspecting that that's not going to be the case on the TV show. They're going to play into that trope again.
Throw in it, yeah.
Then as for the detective, what's his name? Sheriff Clark.
Yeah. Oh, and we know that his counterpart, his angry ex, is gone.
Yeah. So, I mean, as far as him and Maggie, Margaret, whatever you want to call her,
Daisy.
Daisy Dukes. Um, I think she's safe for the rest of the season. I think he's safe for this season.
I think they're gonna develop that
Yeah.
farther. I think it's then that. So
Next
so
season
I
is another
definitely agree.
story. I see him going really early on next season to propel stuff, or maybe even the finale. I don't know. And then finally the mayor. I don't think he's involved. I don't think he's gonna die off anytime. He's got a big secret. That's a much bigger story that's gonna unfold. I think next season they're really gonna focus on that, and I see him being around for that same reason why Brooke is kind of immune.
Yeah.
So.
They need to push that storyline farther.
Yeah. Anyway, next episode is called Ghosts, and the oh so shocking synopsis reads: Emma reels from yet another death, and a secret from the past is uncovered.
I'm done. Another secret.
Yeah. So I think she's gonna talk to her mom about, oh, you slept with Brandon James. Is he my father?
Oh yeah. I don't think that's the direction she's gonna go. She's obviously gonna talk to her. I mean, my first process would be just that. Would be like, what if this? But I don't know if she's gonna go that direction. But she's definitely gonna talk to her mom about it. There's no way. Now it's pretty much. There's all this coinciding. She's like, she's pretty much, she's kind of got some balls going. Emma's definitely, as personality wise, is changed quite a bit.
Yeah.
She went from being very timid to being like, fuck you.
So
I'm definitely seeing her continuing that train.
Yeah. Kim, you got anything else for us before we wrap this up?
Nope, that's all I got.
Yeah. As for where we were speculating last week about the dream, I think the first half of it actually happened, and I think the second half was the dream. So,
yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah, we talked.
Yeah, because they were on pretty hot and heavy when she got picked up, and the fact that Kieran is ready to lie for her. Yeah, he's ready to lie for her at the drop of a hat.
Oh yeah.
Something happened between them. He's not gonna. He doesn't seem like the type that's just gonna do that as a casual friend. So.
And he did seem very hurt by the fact that the whole Will stuff.
Yeah. Kim, where can the people find you?
At HUFFITY
You can find me down below at Phenomedon, PHENOMEDOM. You can also find the two of us and more on Facebook, Gmail, G+, Twitter, Space, and right here on YouTube at /ASO TV Podcast for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows. Till next week.
Why?
Maybe I'm the killer.
Oh.
That would be a twist. What if the viewer,
the
viewer ends up being the killer?
killer?
Oh yeah, called it. You guys heard it here first.
Fourth wall, right there.
Boom.